Imagine a nighttime scare. You are scrolling on your laptop late in the night. You come across a deal or a land plot which is like $3,000 for 1 acre. You will be like, you know what? I found this deal, the deal of the century. You do go ahead, end up buying that lot. And once you get the deed in your name, you go with your builder to that site and say, you know, at the grass out there, this is where I want to build a house. Your contractor goes out there with a measuring tape, measures it out, and then comes back to you with his head down, nodding, saying, with this, my friend, I cannot build you a home site. I can build you an alley. You'll be like, what do you mean you cannot build my home? It is a 1 acre lot. And then he'll be like, that is correct. But what you're missing out on is this is just 40 feet wide. And for the R2 zoning, this is not covered and it's not buildable. And what most of the people miss when they're buying this lot is a very important concept, which we called the invisible boundary setbacks. That is what I'm going to be teaching you guys today, at least bring you up to speed so you can understand how does the setbacks work. Let's dive in. Setbacks. And the way I call it is the bowling alley trap. So remember the guy in my story, which I was mentioning earlier, like why he wasn't able to build? Let's take a deeper dive. What that means and how it works. Okay, legal housekeeping before we dive into this. We are investors, not surveyors or attorneys. All dimensions shown are estimates based on the county GIS map, zoning area code, Article 7. Buildability must always be verified. I say always with the Putnam County Planning and Zoning. Since this is where a major inventory is, all of my examples are focused on Putnam County. Again, this just a quick recap. The nighttime scenario. Remember this guy, 1 acre, $3,000, deed of the century. Let's understand what that means. So, how does the law of setbacks work? It's typically for R2 zoning. We have to understand one thing: the invisible border. You can never build on your property right to the end of the border. There are certain setbacks that you need to make sure the distance is always away from your land in order for you to start building. Typically, it comes to from the side setback, it's going to be 10 feet, and from the front, it's going to be 25 feet. This basically reduces your usable width immediately. Uh, while we're going through the numbers, I'm going to do the math. Let's switch to another example where you can understand which is a narrow lot, the red, and the R lot, which is the standard lot, which I was going to say is the Goldilocks standard. But just to get you an idea, let's say if the width is 30 feet wide and the setbacks are 10 feet on the left, 10 feet on the right, the major padding area is 10 feet. But while we'll still dive into the numbers, it's very important for me to show you a live example of what I'm trying to get at here. As you guys can see my screen, let me zoom in a little more. From the looks of it, all of these lots look great, right? But that's where the bowling alley trap comes in. Let's dive in deeper. Do you see this specific lot out here? I'm going to measure it for you. Boom. So this specific lot, considering the setbacks I was telling you guys before, if from top to bottom this is 10 feet, and from top to bottom this is 10 feet, that's 20 feet gone. So all you have left is just around about 5 feet to build. Technically, this lot is not usable. And how would you know? That's where I always advise everybody to do their own due diligence. After this end of this video, I'll make sure all of these tools are posted in the comment section where you guys can actually go ahead and always buy it. This is the very common mistake where a lot of people miss on. Just to give you an idea, when I say the padding is 25 from the reference, even though you might have this area, which we were mentioning, but it's not the length of the alley like a bowling. What is important is, which is, again, lost my train of thought. Yeah, what is left is measurement in this from here. If you have 10 feet gone here and the another 10 feet from here, so the total buildable area for you is going to be around about this much. That's what you say. There is no way you can build on this. What we would advise is always, always, always to use the measuring tape or call the county. Let's talk about it in more detail. As you were mentioning earlier, let's go back to the slideshow. While you might be understanding and while we're getting deeper into the bowling alley trap, there are multiple different shapes, which I call the Hall of Shame. There are different bad shapes, guys. You have to be mindful of these. There's usually the triangle trap, there is usually the flagpole, there's the spaghetti. Uh, these usually have their own setbacks, which we will be discussing in much more detail in the future videos. But again, just so you get it, the overall idea of how it works, 50% of the lost space is gone if it's like a pizza slice. Doesn't work. The flagpole, it might be just like a small strip, like a 15 feet strip. You walk straight and drive, and then you might have a whole big area to build. Most of the trucks can't even enter there. Most of the guys will not build on it. Again, the spaghetti is what I call the extreme bowling alley, which is again long and thin, good for walking, bad for living. These are few shapes that I always advise guys. You have to be very, very mindful. If you are going to buy for it, you need to double check what kind of shape you're buying. What I have for you is what I call the Goldilocks standard. I have done the reading, so you guys don't have to. I'll put in the link. Please go ahead and do it. These gets changed time through time. But as of today, according to the County Land Development Code, Article 7, the minimum width you need for a house to be built for the R2 zoning has to be 75 feet. The R2 zoning minimum area is 7,500 square feet. Most of our inventory, which we have, is bound by this Goldilocks standards, which we are very, very mindful of while we're selling anything to you guys, to you all. So again, we'll discuss about the lot for today later in the call. Now, another thing which we always discuss from time to time is like, Harpreet, I'm going to be using this lot just for camping. I don't care what the size is. I don't care how it um, looks, what is the shape. I'm pretty much fine. I'm like, that's fine. That's okay. But if you're just holding the property, and let's say there is another factor to it, they want to sell it in the future, nobody's going to buy it. Your potential buyer when be going to a bank and saying, you know what, bank, I want to build this house on this shape, but 90% of banks won't even accept it. Banks usually reject out of shapes. They are hard to value. Mobile home movers refuse delivery if they can't turn around. Just like the flagpole example, again, Sentin was discussing earlier. If your truck can't even walk through it, if it's that small or narrow, how will you build a home there or take your mobile home there? Um, per my recommendation, standard rectangle is the safest investment. Look for those. I'm not against any shape and sizes, guys. This is just my understanding and my data. Always do your own due diligence. Now, very important. Take a screenshot of this. Call the zonings apartment 386-329-0491. You're buying from me, buying from anybody else. Doesn't matter. All I want you to do is give them the parcel ID and ask them, what are the exact setbacks for this parcel? Does this lot meet minimum width for R2? Are there any easements shrinking my buildable area? That's your homework. That's your due diligence. Always ask these questions so you can sleep peacefully in the night. Uh, Again, do your own due diligence. This was just a small snippet of for you guys to understand how the zoning works, how do the setbacks work, and this is an important thing I want to discuss. Coming to the lot, which we discussed, I want to showcase today is our 0.22 acre lot, which is for $6,000. And I'm gonna do a live measurement for you guys while we're on this, so it gives you an idea. When I say the Goldilocks standard, what does that mean? Um, let's do one thing. We are gonna go back to this lot, clear the measurement. Let's do the search. So this is the lot which we're discussing today. If I were you and I wanted to buy this piece of land, I'm going to put in all the details. I'm going to go ahead is measure it. This is a tool that usually Putnam County gives in. A lot of people don't know about it, hence we are trying to elaborate and teach you guys. All you have to do is measure it from year to year. Boom. So it's 74.70. I'm definitely sure if there is a 10 feet padding here, 10 feet padding here, 25 feet in, it will still be a double home size buildable lot. Very important for you guys to always measure. You can use this tool here on the Putnam County GIS reference map. All you have to do is copy paste the parcel APN, do the measurement before buying the lot, but always, always, always call the county. If you guys are interested and wanna buy this property today, being Christmas special, we have listed this property for $6,000, 59952 precise. If you tell me, Harpreet, I joined your life and I saw, and you've mentioned that you're gonna cut it in half, the document processing fee, that's just for you until end of year, 31st of December. If you watch this video, let me know. I'll cut this document processing fee into half, and it's for you to purchase. All you have to do is contact me. And there are multiple ways to reach out to me. You can either book a video call if you prefer one-on-one video calls, just so you have any questions and concerns. You can always call me at 347-842-7247. Send me a message. These are multiple ways to reach out to me. I'll make sure this specific property for you is out there. If you want to do your own due diligence and understand, initially we had this like a 48-hour hold. What we're offering as of today is a 7-day hold where you can select any of the properties you want to go ahead, buy, and then we'll make sure you have your own time in order for you to go ahead and do your due diligence and can hold this property for $100 for 7 days. What we can do after that is I'll make sure this amount gets rolled over to the principal and we can cut it out there and we can still make the payments work. We do offer flexible owner financing. If that's what you're looking for, you know where to reach out to me. We're always there for you and we'll make this happen. Hope you guys like this small um, walkthrough for you can understand how the setbacks work and how it takes in place. Very important to always do your due diligence. I will also share the slide for you to always watch into it. If you have any questions and concerns, just contact us. Always there, always happy to any questions you guys have. Thank you for joining this stream. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment. We'll always be happy to answer any questions and concerns. Looking forward for the next stream. Thank you.